Hello and welcome back to another exciting chess game, ladies and gentlemen. This one was played really recently at US Chess Championship, and it was played between Ray Robson, who was playing as white, and his opponent was chess prodigy Abhimanyu Mishra. Abhimanyu Mishra is a truly talented player, and he's the youngest player ever to reach a grandmaster title, so this game is no exception. Mishra managed to deflect all of white's attacks, and in the end game he converted his advantage and managed to win this game. So you are in for a treat, and don't go anywhere because this game is really special. So Robson opened the game with d4, we have d5 for black, we have c4 and c6, we are in Slav defense. Game continued with knight f3 for white, we have knight f6 for black, and after knight c3 and e6 we are in semi-Slav defense. We have g3 played for white with the idea to put this bishop on g2 and to fianchetto it there. And right now Mishra decided to take this pawn that was offered by white. He plays d picks up on c4. White continues his development with bishop g2. We have knight b to d7 for black. And after castle for white, Mishra decided to save this c4 pawn and he plays b5. Our game continued with e4. And we have bishop b7 for Mishra. Now I want to go back and to show you after e4, although it looks tempting to play b4 here and push away this knight, white can counterattack actually, and he can play e5. After Mishra would play something like knight d5, white has knight d4, and then this pawn will be easy target after white moves his pieces, so this is not a good alternative for white in this position. Also you have this weakness on d6, so this is not the best way to continue, and after e4, bishop b7 was played for Mishra. We have e5 now played for white, and we have knight d5 played for black. We have knight g5 right now with the idea to aim at this weak pawn, and also after h6 white can also move his knight to this really nice square on e4. But after h6 Robson decided to sacrifice his knight and create an attack. Knight picks up on e6, white noticed that white squares would be weak, and this is what happened in the game. Mishra of course accepts this sacrifice, and we have queen h5 check. King goes on e7, pretty much the only move, and white continues with knight e4. White wants to introduce another piece in the attack and also wants to exploit this weak square on d6. Game continued with queen e8. Mishra notices that his king has to escape this left side because it will be much safer here on c7, for example, and that is the reason behind this move. And now Mishra also offers the queen for a trade because he is a piece up. Of course white doesn't want to allow that, and he plays a bishop g5. Mishra in this position is forced to give up his two pieces, his rook for these two pieces. So h takes on g5, and we have queen picking up on h8. After that Mishra continues with king d8. He has to continue with his original plan just to put his king to safety, and we have knight picking up on g5 for white. Game continued with queen e7, and right now Mishra attacks this knight. White defends it with queen h5, and we have king c7, so Mishra successfully moved his king on the other side. Game continued with queen g6. Right now Robson wants to attack this pawn. That is the reason Mishra plays rook e8, and we have a4 right now played for white. In case this is accepted, this would leave this rook on a4, and this is definitely not a good option for black to open this file. But also there is another threat here. White will definitely take it even if black refuses, and this would leave this pawn hanging, so king b8 is played for Mishra because of that. We have rook to a3, and right now white's idea is simple. He wants to keep this rook here and see what black will respond, and he also wants to move his rook here and then transfer it to f7, which will be dangerous. So black continues with knight c7, and we have rook f3, the white's original idea. Mishra continues with b picks up on a4, and we have h4 now played for white. So Mishra wants to create a passed pawn, but white wants to create a passed pawn of his as well. So that is the reason behind this move. We have queen d8 now played for Mishra, and rook f7 was played for white. We have rook e7. Mishra now wants to enter an endgame because he has two pieces for a rook, and that's always a better option in endgames. We have rook goes on f4 for white. White for now doesn't want to trade, and now Mishra again offers a queen for a trade. This is not good, of course, for white. He doesn't want to enter an endgame unless he is forced to do so, so he plays queen h7. I want to go back just one move before. So after rook f4, for example, one of the options was a knight d5 here. After bishop takes on d5, c takes on d5, this was another way to play as black. Now with the idea to put this queen on b6, this was another option for Mishra as well, but position is dead equal. So after queen e8, of course, white declined and he played queen h7. We have a g6 now played for Mishra. Mishra now attacks this queen. We have a rook f7 now played for white. And now Mishra plays really sharp. For now, he doesn't want to take any piece and he plays c5. He wants to develop his pieces and he wants to create weaknesses because this pawn is now weak and this pawn will also be weak after this pawn is removed. So we have bishop picks up on b7, we have king takes on b7, and we have queen picks up on g6 for white. Now Mishra decided to pick up this rook, and after knight picks up on f7 again, we have c picks up on d4 for Mishra. So now Mishra is already preparing to create a passer here. We have queen e4 now played for white check. Black blocks it with knight d5, and we have knight d6 check. Right now, if you don't want to lose your queen, you have to give up your bishop. And after e picks up on d6, queen h8 was played for black. A tricky move, because right now after pushing this pawn will be hanging. So a rook to d1 is played now for white, attacking this pawn, and right now Mishra creates a trick with knight to e5. White sees it, and the only move that works for him is to actually play d7. Now after knight e5 you probably saw that this pawn can be taken, but this would lead you to this nice fork, knight f3 check, and after you pick up with the queen, black will simply pick up your rook, and this is a one endgame for black. Nothing else to add. So d7 is played for white. After this, knight picks up on d7, and right now white can pick up this pawn. But white made a mistake and he actually picked up with his queen. Now he had the better options by picking up with his rook, because there will not be an endgame that is favorable for black. But this way, after queen picks up on d4, rook picks up on d4, black has the advantage, because this you have two pieces for a rook. And that is the reason why this is not the best, but it is what it is. This is how this game was played out. So we have a3 right now played for Mishra. Mishra doesn't want to wait a second. He wants to create a passed pawn. So we have b picks up on a3, and c3 was played for black. White is now forced to go back in order to defend, and after rook to d1 we have knight to c5, bringing another knight closer to this rook and this pawn. We have h5. Now white wants to counterattack, and this pawn is the only chance in order to try and create some counterplay. We have knight to d3 now played for black, a really tricky move again. If you pick up this knight after c2, you can say goodbye, because there is no way you can stop the promotion of this pawn. So you cannot pick up this knight, although it looks tempting. White continues with h6, pretty much the only idea here. Now black plays c2, attacking this rook. Rook is forced to go somewhere, and he goes on f1. And right now we have a knight to f6, a really important move here, because you don't want to allow this pawn to promote earlier than it should be. So we have now g4, another important move. White tries with all of his might to try and create some counterplay with these passed pawns, but black is really precise, and he plays knight to h7, which is the best move of the position. Of course, after g4, if you decide to promote here, it will be really risky, because right now after rook picks up on c1 and knight picks up on c1, after g5, if you are careless, the only thing that draws right now is this check here, then bringing your knight here to f4. But if you are careless and you play knight h7, g6, and you cannot stop one of these pawns promoting to a queen. So that was the reason after g4, knight h7 was the most precise move. White continues with king g2, and we finally have the promotion of a queen for black. After rook picks up on c1, knight picks up on c1, we have f4 now played for white. White is still trying to play this game. We have king to c6, king to f3, king to d5. Good thing for black in this position is that his king is relatively close, and he will be able to assist this knight with defense of these promotional pawns. So we have g5 now played for white, knight to f8 now played for black, king goes on g4, black continues with knight d3, a really important move. Again, you want to have your other knight also close here, because you want to connect your knights and they need to assist in order to defend this position. So we have f5 for white. Firstly, we have knight e5, a really important move, check. King goes on f4, we have knight f to g6 check. You are sacrificing your one knight. White, of course, accepts, and after knight picks up on g6, king g4 is played for white. King e4 for black. Black is playing really precise. We have a4 for white. We have a4 for black. We have h7 for white. We have king e5 now played for black. And after king h5 and king f5, king h6 was played for white. And after e5, white decided to resign because there is simply nothing you can do and stop the promotion of this pawn into a queen. I will show you right now. Of course, if you try king g7, black simply continues with e4, and after the promotion you will pick up this queen, and after king picks up on h8, e3, and whatever the white does, there is nothing you can do. You will pick up your pawn, this pawn, on the next move if king goes on, for example, like g7, and black pawn is ready to promote, and it is game over. And this is how this game ended, and this is all I have prepared for you today. I really appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this game, please make sure to leave a comment, like, and share this video, because it really helps me a lot. It helps the organic growth of my channel, it helps it reach more people, and I couldn't do it without your help. I really appreciate you guys. Also, if you wish, you can become a channel member and support me. You can donate one-time donations with a PayPal. All of the new donators will be listed in my screen, as you see right now on the channel. With each new game, these donors will stay. So, of course, if you have any questions about the game, if you think I missed something in the analysis, please let me know. I always enjoy reading your comments, and we will see each other in the next video. I wish you a pleasant night. Bye bye.